Welcome to an episode of, I was going to say, I can't remember, we labeled the last one 8.5, but now I guess we're at 9.
9, because it's another halfie, so a half.
Another halfie. Okay, so this is our second video blog at Northern Voice, in which it's a big, not a big, but it's a relatively, comfortable blogging and social media conference in Vancouver, and it's at the UBC Life Science Building, and so we're on day 2. This is the last day.
I'm Jessica Samuels. This is Layla Pejman.
I'm Layla Pejman at the Pej.
At the Pej. And so we just wanted to review kind of how today was so far. We had a really great keynote speech from Chris Wilson, who was, he helped invent the internet. No, just kidding. But he was involved in the internet since the beginning, 1993. 93.
And some of the pictures that he showed up, and you're like, whoa, those were games back then. Wow, where have we, how far have we come? And I'm so glad that I wasn't in that era where you had to play with nothing that was that pretty, and the Angry Birds and the touch screen, so we're really spoiled in our age right now.
So that was a good look back. I mean, what did we learn? I'm not so much, but it was good he kind of framed it in a good, it was very interactive to see how far the internet has come, so that was cool. And the interesting one, how to run a successful and engaging online movement without a huge budget. A panel of not-for-profit organizations talked about how their movement had built momentum and presence. I think the one thing that I liked with these guys, and because actually I did have 2 of them on my radio program, is they were saying that social media does not take the place of traditional media. And I think that's what you have to remember if you're running a not-for-profit or any kind of movement, make yourself available for traditional media, because as big as social media and the online movement is, traditional media is still a huge part of it all.
That's right. That's right.
And then this one that we just got out of, this was great. Stop Apologizing for Your Online Life by Alexander Samuel. And we had struggled between this because, with so many of them, there's 2 that we wanted to go to. And you felt and you had heard that Alexander Samuel would be really good, and we just got out, and I loved her presentation.
Yeah, I liked her energy. One of the things that she was handing out were these stickers. Well, a couple of stickers.
Okay, show yours.
Mine says WTF is IRL, and yours says...
And just in case people don't know, IRL is in real life. And mine says, this is real life too. And it's making reference to the fact that people make the distinction of if you're friends with somebody online, well, that's not real life. And so if you meet them in person, you have to say, oh, it's real life. And she's saying, no, online is real life too.
And it was staggering because she actually asked us how many of us had just met someone today that we had become friends with over online, whether it's Twitter or Facebook or just blog, commenting on one another's blog. And pretty much 90% of the audience held their hand up that she was trying to frantically distribute all these stickers, right, to reward us. So I guess she was using gamification tactics in her presentation. But I thought she was very interesting about how but the other thing I really liked about her presentation is because I'm with Facebook, I have a LinkedIn account, and I add anyone I meet on there freely. Facebook, I'm a bit more okay, if I don't know you, I've never met you, I'm going to ignore that friend request. And she brought that up too, at least keeping one social networking site, whether it is Twitter, whether it is LinkedIn, or whether it is Facebook, where you actually have control of who are your friends in that space. And so she chose Facebook. And it's when someone tries to add you and they're not your friend, you can she encourages the not now button, and then also there's actually a selection where you can say that you don't know this person, and because it happens a lot, because maybe they know you but you don't know them, and you just don't want them in that space. So I mean I think I'm going to be a bit more religious on it, because I've been kind of toying with the fact of whether or not I should just be a bit more open on Facebook in terms of letting all these people that I've met once and I'm not really sure who they are, and let them in that personal space of Facebook. And so I think I might have to do a little bit of a Facebook purge. But also kind of be really strict for future reference.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's and differing views, and when a lot of people are talking about transparency, we went to one early yesterday, and he was talking about how he's very transparent, and I think transparency works in certain situations, depending on what you are, but exactly the same. In my one social media life and my social media kind of out there personality, I will friend anyone. And then for my social media that I use for my personal, unless I know you, and it doesn't mean met in real life or offline, which is what we're going to say now. It just means unless I know you, I'm not going to friend you. And I think that was a really great move. And then a point that Alexandra Samuel made. And then the only other thing is that you can monotask when you're online too. So there's this perception that if you're online, then you have short attention span and you're multitasker and you're not in the moment. But you can be in the moment online. Like you and I are online. I'd say that we're in this moment. We're in this moment right now, just because we're not here. We're in the moment with you as a viewer, and when we are, doing things. So I like that kind of freedom to say. Her thing was stop apologizing for your online life. To say yes, online is not this big evil thing, and do it and make it your own.
And then the last point that I really liked about her is concentrate on one thing that you like to do and make it an art in your own realm. So it's like whether, she used the example of spitting out 5 blogs per week, maybe, really taking it up and concentrating on one really good analysis, one post that's a very good analysis, very thoughtful blog post. She does understand the fact that, 5 blogs versus one SEO advantages, but, try to turn that into art. Or whether it's actually getting out there and taking pictures and photoshopping it and creating it into something that's beautiful, and you're proud of, but concentrating on a piece of art in the online space. And so I'm going to take that for myself. I'm going to start adding more photos into my blog posts.
And I think one thing that look, there she is now. We were just talking about hi, Alexandra.
We're doing a podcast.
We're doing a podcast,
and we were talking about.
Would you like to stick in here? See, don't apologize for your online life.
Yeah, well, I'm lusting after your keyboard, of course. I'm sorry, I get totally distracted by the technology.
I know, me too.
So you're doing a podcast off your iPad?
Yeah.
Wow, it had not occurred to me that you could do that, but I guess you can because you've got a new one. Sweet.
Yeah, because it says recording.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
See, here, everything's happening. And then the one thing that we actually are going to do, the final one, is awesomizing your podcast, Secrets from Radio from Todd Maffin. And this one we're doing for you guys, because if we go to this, our podcasts will be even more awesome than they already are.
It's all about awesomizing. Anyways, I'm all good.
Yeah. Okay. We'll talk to you the usual way in the coming days.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.